for me personally, is a very difficult process. With modular compared to other instruments, everything is a very conscious decision. It's not like you're playing a guitar and there's a technique that you have studied already, or you're playing music that somebody else wrote, or that you, like it's...
Well, your instrument is built already.
You have to build your instrument from scratch. You have to decide how to configure the system, what order to put the modules in. Because I haven't been doing this for a long time, I have to reinvent the process every time, and it just takes forever. Because like Eric can put a system together in like, a couple of hours and have his patch ready to go. I mean, it's just, I can't do that. Like,
He's been doing it for a while. But you start from scratch every single time. For the greater part of the last year, I've been iterating on a performance patch. And it creates different music every time for me because of the way I've built it. But I'm not reinventing the wheel every time. I'm just like honing the wheel. See,
that's smarter.
Maybe.
That's a smarter approach.
But imagine the growth that you're getting out of it.
I think you're going to live longer. You're definitely going to live
But you're
longer.
burning hotter. You're growing faster as a result.
My whole thing is I have different types of synthesis and just completely different genres of music that I like to do with my modular. Then I can't configure one system that's going to be able to do that. I put a different system together every show and do something different, or it might be similar but have some differences to it.
Well, I'm sure patterns are emerging. I'm sure if you were to really codify everything,
still have
you would
sound.
Probably have like 20 to 30 tricks.
Definitely.
And it is the same way for me. I just end up prioritizing certain tricks that can fit in a case to allow me enough voices that can be changed musically on the spot. It's like, how can I have a really flexible system that allows me to change the musical material within a certain set of parameters that are fixed, that are relatively fixed? But the other thing is, man, I can't take 2 weeks to build a patch at this point. I got too much other stuff going on. So I commend your commitment to taking, the high road or the hard road or whatever that road is that you're taking to build from scratch.
Or maybe it's, I guess I'm lucky that I do have time now, or I make the time, or I don't know. It's just a very...
Well, we all have.
No, but it's a very inefficient way to work, and I'm realizing that, and I need to get faster.
But don't forget to acknowledge
to
the work that you're putting in for it and how that will manifest as growth. I don't see it as inefficient. I just see it as different.
I feel like
parts.
I kind of get in that zone. I just get like ideas with different combinations of modules that are just like super unique. Like, remember that one that I made that was like a module on the spot thing? That was like all the different bands of my harmonic oscillator into a mod to mix to be able to just get plucks of ring modded harmonic band.
Yes.
It's like a concept based on the combination of different modules.
Yes.
For a specific outcome. That was fun, man. That's what I love about this, is the immediacy and like new aspect to it.
It's
just
so
like,
fresh when you build something, and it's so exciting to play it because
it's so
in such a new way.
Overpatch. It's so easy to overpatch and just go crazy and
then have chaos.
I think a lot of it is about editing yourself and kind of getting it out of your system first, making the patch, and then being like, okay, how much can I remove from this, because this is totally overkill.
Yes.
And like,
that happened earlier today with our mass patch.
They don't all have to be here. They don't they don't all have to be here. I don't have all the sounds. Sometimes you can have 2 sounds or 1 sound.
Well, this whole thing of building something from scratch, I just did that for a compilation that's going to come out soon. And the whole idea was a concept. It was like, if I take this combination of modules, I can do this really interesting thing that I've never done before. And it creates such a fresh feeling, and so it's beautiful for that. However, I tend to not do that for live performance. It's almost like I see my live performance as a channel of my output.
But it's just, I think that with this format, or with any artwork, I guess, or when you have to dig deep for ideas, other things start to emerge. You're kind of accessing a part of your psyche that you don't necessarily get to in whatever everyday life. Or
it's unlocked under a puzzle, and you build the puzzle or you solve the puzzle or whatever, and you then have access to, like, this door opens, you know, in your creativity.
Sometimes it doesn't open till, like, sometimes you'll sit there and you're like, well,
A week later.
I've showed up and I'm like,
I've done what I
patching
can
away,
do. Yeah.
get nothing, and then like the door will open like the day before, and you're like, it's like
Right.
like the universe is like just testing you. It's like you have
Your
to
patience.
sit here and put the effort in.
Yes.
And then later you might get a payoff. You
Right.
might or might not.
Oh,
but
yeah.
if you're just focused,
You're doing
on
it for the payoff.
If you're doing it for the payoff,
Yeah.
it's not going to show up.
Yes.
And it's just like it has this like kind of like cheeky spirit, right?
Yes, yes.
It's just like
The trickster,
it's like
the cosmic joke.
It's like a little like elf that's just like with you.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna give you anything, and then but you just have to show up anyway.
The lessons, the life lessons to be learned.
It's a practice.
When you have a practice that opens you up to a deeper connection internally, eventually
What they made.
the magic, the spirit is injected, it comes through. That's like why we do it. Like we do it for
Yeah,
this
I mean,
this unknown.
It's like sometimes it's like 95% torture,
Right.
and then you get that 5% payoff, but the payoff is so strong
Focused,
that
yeah.
that it obliterates
Yes.
that like torturous kind of process that you went through
Yes.
to arrive there. And I think that's what keeps us going. Every day you have to kind of question yourself, why are you making art? What is the reason? Because I struggle with it. Sometimes I think it seems like a very egotistical pursuit to just sit,
Because there's definitely slices of ego in it, because the ego is part of our self, and it kind of needs to be appeased, I mean, but there's definitely more to it, because if it were only ego, I don't think it would last. I wouldn't feel fulfilled. Hey, look, it's Tom Herb around the corner.
Walking down Haywood in West Asheville.
Yeah.
Haywood, H-Wood?
H-Wood.